Hey everybody, it is Radley, and I am here with the wait for it, Angel Tarot Show. But you knew that, right? So hello, hello, hello over on YouTube if you are watching this. If you are listening on the most fabulous podcast on mindbodyspirit.fm, then welcome, welcome, welcome. So today our episode is called 7 Archangels for Gratitude and Bringing Blessings into Your Life. Now, we're going to talk about 7 archangels that are perfect for that. Might not be the 7 archangels that you think. So if you're thinking that traditional 7 archangels you hear about sometimes, that's not the team that we are talking about today. But what we want to talk about first and foremost is the power of gratitude. So I talk about this in my book, Manifesting Your Magical Life, as well as how to be your own genie. And I think I bring it up in every book I ever wrote. But the importance of that is that gratitude is the fuel of the universe. Put it in your tank and you will go far. Now, I know, wow, that was deep, right, Rad? Exactly. But this is something that I've been saying for a really long time because it's a great metaphor. Because when we have gratitude, we open ourselves up, we open up our hearts and all of our chakras to be in this space of receiving more. When we are lamenting our situation and thinking about it from the standpoint of lack, or thinking about it from the standpoint of, oh, I'm missing out on this, that, or the other, then we find ourselves in a place of bringing more of that lack into our lives. By being in gratitude, we're acknowledging the things that we do have in our lives at any given moment, and therefore being in a space of allowing more good things to be grateful for to show up. Now, people talk sometimes about why is it important to have gratitude when you're working with the angels? Well, you know what? What I'm going to say to that might be a little bit not what most people say. and let me explain that. So a lot of people will like to say is that, well, angels love gratitude, everybody loves gratitude, everybody wants to hear a thank you, everybody wants to hear that. And there is truth in that. But I don't think that truth holds true with the angels and the archangels in quite the same way as it does for human beings. We as human beings, when we are given gratitude, then we want to we have this sense of fulfillment. We have this sense of, I did something good, and we like that. And we want more of that because we as human beings really like positive responses to the things that we have done. We like that. Angels have no egos. So I think that, do the angels like to hear thank you? Yeah, I think they do. But I don't think they particularly want to hear thank you for themselves. I think they want to hear us say thank you for ourselves, because the angels love us. They love us unconditionally. It's the biggest, amazing, powerful kind of love outside of the divine itself that is going to show up in your experience, particularly in this incarnation. And so they really care about us, and they want us to have the experience of joy and getting more and more. And because of the law of attraction and some other laws as well, we have this situation where it's like the more that we are in gratitude, the more we bring in, and the angels want that for us. And because they want that for us, they want to hear it. But it isn't the same sort of thing about, personal gratification of someone having said thank you in a human body form that has an ego. For them, it is a love of us and them wanting us to have everything, and them being aware that, yes, it's true that by showing gratitude, we bring in more good things to be grateful for. So We're going to talk about 7 archangels, but before we do that, I do want to talk just briefly about your guardian angels. Your guardian angels are there with you 24/7. They've been with you since birth. They've been with you in multiple lifetimes. They're always there. So from a standpoint of being the angels that are on the front lines with you, literally the front lines of what your life is going to look like, how your life is going to transform into the things that you want it to be, how your life is going to be the joyful experience that you were hoping to have when you incarnated into this human lifetime. They are the guys that are like right there with you every step of the way, every moment, helping you to be able to create that dream. So having gratitude to your guardian angels is very important, because it's one thing to have gratitude to some powerful somebody that's, a few steps removed from you, and it's another thing to have gratitude for someone who's right there with you all the time. So you can almost think of guardian angels as being like family members. And as family members, those are the people that are with us all the time, and the people that we want to make sure that we are saying thank you to. So don't forget your guardian angels. But let's get to that list of archangels. If you are new to the concept of angels, then welcome, welcome, welcome. I love nothing more than teaching to people who are new to angels. And I've been doing a series that started several weeks ago, that started with an episode called the Hall of the Archangels. It's currently our #1 hit for the last 30 days. And every angel episode after that is doing really well, but we're going one angel at a time. But archangels are these omnipresent, which means basically that they are present constantly in all places, in all things, in all times, all at once. So they can help you at the same time that they're helping your best friend, that they're helping some person on the other side of the planet who needs assistance. And so they are these powerful beings that are available to us as individuals, but are also very focused on the world, on how to take care of the world. And so we have only been through, to this point, we've only been through 2 archangels, I think. Is that right? No, 3 archangels. We did the Hall of the Archangels. We talked about Archangel Sandalphon, we talked about Jophiel, and we talked about Raziel. But now we're going to talk about Jophiel and Sandalphon some more. We're also going to talk about Raziel some more, but then we're going to talk about some additional archangels that we haven't really talked about too much, but it'll be okay. You won't be a lost ball in high weeds when you listen to this. So first of all, we're going to talk about Archangel Jophiel. Her name means the beauty of God, and she can be associated with gratitude and thankfulness. And the reason is because Jophiel is known for helping us to have positive thoughts, to lift us up out of a negative situation, lift us up out of a series of thoughts where we are spiraling downward and having a really hard time getting control of those thoughts. And she can help us lickety split to be able to get those thoughts under control. Now, when we have those thoughts under control, it's so much easier for us to be in a place of gratitude and thankfulness in our life, because when we are in this positive place, we can much more easily be able to see why life is wonderful. So that's why Jophiel can really help us. I think it's important for you to kind of know that all the archangels sort of have a vibe. They have a vibration. They resonate to a particular color. If you care about things like that, Archangel Jophiel comes in this fuchsia pink color. So next up is Archangel Raziel, who we spoke about in last week's episode of the Angel Tarot Show when I had Denise Lynn on with me. If you don't know who Denise Lynn is, boy, you are missing out. She's amazing. But we talked about Archangel Raziel from the standpoint of past lives last week. But we're going to talk about him from a little bit of a different standpoint this week. Archangel Raziel, his name means the secrets of God. And the reason for that is because he's said to be this very esoteric archangel who sits at the throne of God with this book and writes down every secret that is mentioned or uttered, every single thing that is brought up. And because of that, he understands all the secrets and all of the mechanisms and all the ways in which the universe functions and works. So he is able to help us to unlock the mysteries of the universe. And sometimes he's even referred to as the Archangel of Mysteries or the Archangel of Secrets. So because of that, part of that is the whole idea of the ability of being able to manifest physical things or manifest elements into our physical incarnation, our human incarnation, that are things that we want to bring into our lives at any given point. So Raziel is sort of in a way like the Merlin of the Archangel realm. He's sort of like a magician. And so he helps us to be able to tap into the universal flow of abundance. And because of that, he can guide us towards opportunities and blessings that we might have otherwise just kind of like overlooked, didn't even see it. But particularly for people who are really into like quantum physics, or I know, whatever, some people are, I actually find it fascinating, but people who are really interested in, okay, it's great that I'm manifesting, but I want to understand the why and the how I'm manifesting, then Raziel can really help you with that. And with that help comes confidence. And with that confidence comes the ability to further stay in a place of gratitude and to further be able to create and manifest the things in our lives that we want to create. Now, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think it was 3 weeks ago, we talked about Archangel Sandalphon. Now, Sandalphon is the archangel of prayer and music. So a lot of people really primarily associate Sandalphon with music, and that is great, because I don't think that there's anybody on planet Earth who doesn't think music is pretty amazing from its ability to lift us up, to help us to be in a place of joy, of laughter, of happiness, of all kinds of positive emotions. Can it take us into negative emotions? Yeah, just don't listen to those songs. But don't listen to breakup songs unless that's just really helpful to you, makes you feel better, then by all means do that. But because of our love and appreciation of music and song and dance, it's like Sandalphon can help us, lift us up to get us back into a place. It's sort of akin to Jophiel in a way, because both archangels are trying to lift us up through our emotions to put us in a place where we see the world from a joyful place and therefore have the ability to be in a place of gratitude and appreciation. Now, while Archangel Sandalphon is known for music, I think that it's far, far, far more important that Sandalphon is the Archangel of prayer. Now, the reason that I say that is because when we are in a place of uncertainty, sometimes we turn to prayer. We turn to like, dear, please, God. Or if we're like really trying to stay in a place of gratitude, we might say, thank you, God, for blank, the thing that we want to have happen that hasn't happened yet, but we're trying to act as though it has. But sometimes when we lift up our prayers to the source, divine, universe, God, goddess, whatever word you want to use, we can feel like the prayer didn't get answered. And that's because we're human beings. And so we might miss the signs, we might miss the unusual ways in which the questions that we asked of the universe came through to us. We might just miss it. And so Sandalphon has the ability to take our prayers and lift them up to source, to the divine, to the throne of the divine. And one of the ways in which he is seen that way is because he is said to be so tall that his feet are on heaven, his feet are on earth and his head is in heaven. Now, personally, I think this is a metaphor. Do I think archangels can be that tall? Of course they can. Archangels can do whatever they want. But I don't think it's meant to be so literal. So literal as to say, oh, you don't have to worry because Archangel will pick up your little envelope full of prayers and deliver them like an archangel mailman directly to the feet of the divine. I think that's just a metaphor. But the ability to be able to deliver our prayers to the divine is legit and real. And in fact, the way Sandalphon is said to do this, and I think this is really beautiful, is that Sandalphon is said to take our prayers along with the prayers of all these other people and weave them together into a wreath. And this wreath is able to be presented to the divine. It's laid at the feet of the divine. And so think of this wreath of all of these, just from a metaphorical standpoint, of these letters, of these love letters to God, to these letters of crying out to source for help, all of these letters. And so they're laid at the throne of the divine, where they are loved, and each one is read and analyzed and blessed and answered. And then the wreath is handed back to Sandalphon, and he takes it back to earth, and almost like they could fly away, like letters in Harry Potter that arrive, almost like that. Where the letters just fly off to go back to where they're supposed to be. Now, but we can get very, very distracted and miss the opportunity for the fact that, oh, wow, our letter came and I missed it. So Sandalphon helps us to see the signs. He helps us to be awake and aware to the fact that a response to our prayer has come, and to help us to be in a space where we can take those prayers and understand the answers easily, to see them and to be able to take them in. And nothing makes us feel better than answered prayer. Therefore, another reason for gratitude and thankfulness. So the next archangel we're going to talk about is an archangel that we have not talked about in our series so far. In fact, the rest of them we have not talked about in the series so far. And that is Archangel Metatron. So Metatron is associated with gratitude and thankfulness because he is able to help us to understand the miracle of life. Metatron is very much associated with the flower of life, or the Merkaba, if you know that whole sacred geometry kind of thing. But he is able to help us to understand the miracle of life and recognize the divine spark that resides in all of us. Beyond that, though, Archangel Metatron is really good with people who are super sensitive, people who, for example, might be really, really like empathic, or really, really gifted psychically, or even in particular children that are challenged in one way or another. And so Metatron can help lift those people up, and they can feel gratitude for that very thing in their own lives as well. Metatron is also said to be the archangel of grounding and focus, something that we can also feel super grateful for when we feel it in our lives, when we don't feel like, oh my gosh, if someone doesn't tie a string to my ankle, I'm going to float away. But that groundedness, that solidness, that sense of, okay, I'm all right here, right now, it's good, all is well. And so Metatron can help us with that. Another thing that, and I don't think this is any small thing, but Metatron is really good at this thing called time warping, which I think is really amazing and important, especially if you happen to be like me. Maybe you're a procrastinator, and I unfortunately I am. And I think for me, it's not so much that I procrastinate specifically. I just feel like I have so much going on in my life at any given moment, like literally all the time, that things slip. And so I wind up finding myself at the tail end of a big deadline, and then I'm freaking out, and it feels like I procrastinated. But if I was nice to myself and kind to myself, which I always suggest people be, then I would realize that, wait a minute, it wasn't that you were procrastinating so much. It's just you had so much to do that this deadline caught up with you. But in those cases, Metatron is great for that because Metatron can warp time. And so here's an example. I have done this multiple times where I was up against a writing deadline with my publisher, Hay House, and I just wasn't going to make it. I felt like I wasn't going to make it. And so I would ask Archangel Metatron to slow down time. And so my experience of that would be that I would work and work and work and work and work and work and work, because usually in those cases, I'm able to shove everything else aside miraculously and do the work. And so I would just work and work and work. And I would feel like, wow, it's the end of the day. It's got to be 4 or 5 o'clock. I never even ate lunch. But, I feel like I got a good bit done. And I'll look at the clock and it's 12:15 p.m. and be like, oh my God. So that's the kind of thing that Metatron can do. But Metatron can also help us in smaller ways. Like, for example, if you're late for an appointment and you need 10 minutes to get there and you only have 5 minutes, ask Metatron to help you, because you'll hit every green light between here and there and you will miraculously arrive on time. Metatron can also slow down time. I like Metatron to slow down time on vacations, because I don't know about you, but for me, my experience of vacations is that they go by in a flash. And I have a theory for that. I think that's because we are running so fast in our lives that we've accelerated time in our lives. And then we get to vacation and there's just not a way to suddenly slam on the brakes to the time that we have created, the speed of time that we've created. And so we find ourselves in this place where we need to really work hard to slow down time. And so Metatron is great for that. So that's Metatron. Next up is Archangel Chamuel. Now, Chamuel's name technically means the eyes of God, the eyes of God. And so Chamuel is very often thought about as the archangel who is very much about helping us to find things that we've lost. Now, people tend to a little bit trivialize Chamuel. They're like, oh my God, I can't find my car keys. Archangel Chamuel, where is it? Where are they? But that's fine. Archangels don't mind. They don't have egos. They're happy to help. It's not a problem. But and sometimes it's really great to use Chamuel that way. For example, oh my God, I've lost my wedding bands. If I don't find them, my partner will kill me. That is not the voice of experience. So you can ask Chamuel to help you to find very important things. But Chamuel is also really great for helping us to find things that are not so material, but more ethereal. For example, finding the love of our life, or finding ourselves on the right path in our career, or the right path towards our life purpose. And so obviously those kinds of things can really be important for us feeling gratitude and thankfulness in our lives. Chamuel is also known in certain circles as being the Archangel of Love. I think of him more as the Archangel of Peace and Love. But as the Archangel of Love, a lot of people think of Chamuel as being this archangel that really can help people from the standpoint of finding love in their life, whether that love is through friends, whether that love is through relationships, whatever way in which that love you are looking for in your life and trying to experience, Chamuel can help you to find that. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of the Chamuel segment about how important it is that Archangel Chamuel be thought of maybe as the Archangel of Peace and Love. And the reason for that is because I personally feel that Chamuel's most important aspect that he brings to the table for us is that Chamuel is the Archangel of personal and global peace. So it can be really difficult to be in a space of gratitude and thankfulness when you're worried that the whole planet is going to blow itself up. Now, I say that metaphorically and not, okay? So it's like when we feel that way, when we feel unsafe in the world, yeah, that is a job for Archangel Michael. That's another episode. But which, this need for peace in the world globally, so that we can feel safe and so that we can feel a place of being able to embrace our lives and enjoy our lives, is very, very, very important. So, but Chamuel is also great for helping us to find our personal peace. So that peace within, that ability to go within and find ourselves in this place of, oh my goodness, I am at peace. I feel content. I have a sense of self. I have a sense of my own identity as a human being and also as a soul. This whole element of being at peace with oneself. And that is very, very important from the standpoint of being able to offer up gratitude and thankfulness into the world. Now, next up, I wanted to talk about Archangel Ariel. Now, Ariel's name means the lioness of God. And Archangel Ariel is this angel that's not super angelly. And what I mean by that is that all archangels can show up for you with different appearances. That's because archangels don't really actually have genders. They don't really actually have appearances. They just show up for us in a way that we can relate to. And so for me, Ariel doesn't do the whole angel robes, blah, 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 blah kind of thing. Archangel Ariel is more likely to be dressed like the elves in Lord of the Rings. I mean, because she is the archangel of nature, of animals. And so she doesn't have time in my human viewpoint of how she looks to be running around in this angel garb that's getting caught on every bush and every tree, and therefore hindering her ability to move through nature and to interact with the angels. And so for me, she's got a tunic and she has green pants, and she has this little bag on the side that's full of gold coins, which I'll talk about in a moment. But Ariel helps us to have this whole sense of feeling grateful and in a place of thankfulness for nature, for animals, for the things that nature and the animals do to make our lives better, whether that is from the standpoint of nature and trees, and that we can make homes out of that, or animals and their unconditional love and their aspect in our lives, like dogs and cats. But the things that nature can bring to us from a standpoint that buoy up our joy, bring us to a place of gratefulness. When you go for that walk through nature and you have been feeling really, really stressed out, and so you go for this walk in nature, and suddenly you're like, oh my God, I feel so much better. I feel like I'm at peace. I can smell the evergreen and I can hear the birds singing and all of this stuff. And the sun is beautiful and it's a lovely 78 degrees Fahrenheit outside. And so this whole aspect of, wow, isn't it wonderful to be in this incarnation? And I feel grateful and thankful for that. I mentioned that Archangel Ariel carries with her a pack on her side, and that pack is full of gold coins. So, but just like the example that I used a moment ago for how nature, we have trees, they bring us wood, we can build houses. There is an element of Ariel that is all about prosperity and abundance. And that's because nature is the place from which we get the raw materials to create a lot of things that are a part of our lives, like houses and cars and clothing and things that matter to us. And so therefore, Ariel is associated with abundance and prosperity in our lives. And my experience with her is that she has these gold coins in her backpack, and she will toss them to you. And each one of those is almost like a golden ticket from Willy Wonka, almost like being given a gold coin that's supposed to go into the fountain that gives you a wish that you can make for a wish comes true. She hands these out, and she doesn't care what you use them for because she loves you unconditionally. She just wants you to be happy, use it for whatever you want. And these gold coins are metaphoric, but also literal, energetic pieces of energy that we receive from Archangel Ariel that we can turn into the things that we want to create in our lives, and therefore have this sense, once again, of gratitude and appreciation and a sense of joy that we have these things in our lives. Finally, the seventh archangel that I wanted to talk to you about is Archangel Uriel. His name means the fire of God or the light of God. Uriel is my favorite archangel. I've been working with Archangel Uriel since 2003 that I know of. It doesn't mean that I wasn't working with him before, and I just thought I was working with general angels. But Uriel is this archangel who comes in golden glitter. Okay, that's the color he comes in. Now, some people say that it's ruby red because he is said to be of the ruby red ray of light. But I see him as gold. Some people even see yellow. So there's a little bit of discrepancy there. But for me, he's golden glitter. And Archangel Uriel is the archangel of brilliant ideas. I like to say the archangel of epiphanies. And so Archangel Uriel can give us these brilliant ideas, these epiphanies, these amazing possibilities that run through our minds, where we can be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I am going to take this and turn it into something that I want in my life that's powerful and important. Archangel Uriel is also said to be the archangel of emotional healing. And so I look at it from the standpoint of, we get these brilliant epiphanies, these brilliant ideas from Archangel Uriel, and we are able to take those and work with them to heal ourselves emotionally. And because of that, the third thing that, and one of the big things that Uriel is known for is life transformation, transforming our lives into something amazing and wonderful and incredible. The life that we have always wanted to live, the life that we've been trying to create for ourselves from the beginning. And so, where does that take us? So we've got these brilliant epiphanies that lead to emotional healing, that lead to life transformation. So that's pretty powerful when we can be able to work with an archangel to help us to transform our lives to what we want our life to truly be. That's amazing. That's incredible. And so that's why Uriel can really put us into this place of being like thankful and appreciative, and therefore to attract even more blessings and abundance and transformation into our lives, because we feel this sense of growth. I know that since the beginning of this year, I have definitely felt like things have lightened up a lot, and I feel like my life is changing in beautiful and amazing ways. And part of that for me is Uriel and Uriel's influence in my life of being able to help me. And the more that I am aware of that, and the more that I put my focus there, not my focus on what's not right or what my focus on what isn't making me happy, but instead putting my focus on the things that are going right, the more I do that, the better things get. So there you have it. Those are my 7 archangels for gratitude and blessings. So once again, don't forget your guardian angels. That's really important because they are there to help you and to support you in all kinds of magical and amazing ways. So next week, I have a really special thing I'm going to do. I'm going to take a 1-week break on angels and talk about tarot. And the reason for that is because I just did this big event with Hay House on tarot, because I am their biggest producer of tarot decks of all time at Hay House. And so, and I met this guy, he lives in London. His name is Ari Wisner. And I just think he's awesome and amazing. And so, but I think that he comes from tarot in kind of like a different way than I do. We're purposefully not talking about it too much because we want it to just sort of come up in the podcast just naturally, just to kind of see where it's like, well, I think this. Oh, well, I think that. Well, where are we on the same page, and where are we maybe a little bit different? So next week, I'm going to have Ari Wisner on. We're going to talk about the differing concepts of tarot. And I think it's going to be a hoot and a half. I can't wait. So I hope you will join me. Also, keep in mind that we are coming to the end of our springtime sale over at radleyvalentine.com, where we have been marking things down to really low prices, like $11 and $22 and $33. These courses that normally cost like 3, 4, 5 times that. So check that out. Time is running out on that opportunity at radleyvalentine.com/springtime. So thanks so much for joining me on YouTube. Good to see you guys. Thanks so much for being with me on mindbodyspirit.fm. Thanks for listening in, guys. And I will see all of you next week.